Hi, I'm Beth. I'm with the Somerset County Library, and tonight I'm going to show you how to make t-shirt yarn. And then next week we'll look at a few ways that we can actually use the yarn. So, let's see if I have enough room here. I don't know about you, but we have like a gazillion t-shirts around the house. My husband and I used to work for a place that every summer they would give us 2 new t-shirts. And he worked there for many years before I met him. And so he has even more than what I have. So between the two of us, we have all these t-shirts. And I don't need that many t-shirts, really. And some of them are worn. Not really something that you would want to give away to somebody because they are a staff t-shirt. But they're still in pretty good condition, and librarians have a hard time getting rid of stuff, really. So if there's another use that we can find for something, we're going to find another use for it. And I saw this idea of making t-shirt yarn, and since I knit and crochet, I've been wanting to try this. And I have like a whole hamper full of t-shirts that I pulled out, and we still have plenty of t-shirts in our drawers. So I'm going to show you how to make t-shirt yarn. And the first thing you're going to do, if you wanted to, you could take the hem out of this, and that'll give you maybe like another inch of material there to use. But what we're going to do is cut right underneath the armhole and just cut straight across. I have to say, the other day I tried making some t-shirt yarn, and I tried doing it in such a way that I sort of like cut like a spiral, and it worked. But I found this found these instructions, and I think this will be a whole lot easier than what I tried to do. Okay, so we cut right underneath the armholes, and I'm just going to cut the hem out because I don't want to deal with taking the hem out of the t-shirt. Like I said, if you wanted to, you could take this hem out and get in there and cut those, the threads that are holding the material together. And this is a whole lot easier if you have a seam ripper. And once you get it started, it's a little bit easier to pull out. This actually looks like it has a double seam, so I would have 2 seams that I would have to rip out. So, of course, maybe you can come up with an idea for using this part of it. When I was a kid, we used to have a string game that we played. Might be a cool way to teach your kids this string game. Anyhow, all right, so I'm going to get rid of that. And we have our tube. And the top portion of the tube we are not going to cut. So the top 2 inches of the tube here. And I have some dressmaker's chalk here. And I'm just going to make a mark here so I know I do not want to cut past this mark. Okay, so about there. And then we're going to mark where our vertical lines are going to go. Florrie wants to play with my tape. She thinks it is a toy. Florrie is one of my cats. She loves to help me. She thinks she is a big help. Hey, you stop. Okay. So I'm gonna do like a 1.5 inch wide cut. And as I was saying, if you make the cuts wider, of course that'll give you a thicker yarn. If you make them narrower, you'll have a narrower yarn. So I'm just gonna mark 1.5 inches. And that is actually perfect. Don't have any left over. Okay, so I marked 1.5 inches, and that's where my vertical lines are going to go. And then I have a horizontal line here, and I am not going to cut past that line. So we'll go ahead and make our cuts. I'll try to cut this straight. Now if you wanted to, you could, and you had the means to mark your lines all the way to the top, you can go ahead and do that. I'm just going to try to eyeball it here and try to make sure I cut parallel lines. And if your lines aren't completely straight, or maybe they're a little wavy, no big deal. It'll just give it the finished product a little extra texture. I don't know if you've seen sweaters that are made with ribbon yarn, but they sort of do have that effect of like thick and thin in the yarn. Wasn't very straight. Don't have a whole lot of room to work here either. I would probably be sitting in the middle of the floor doing this, but I know that the cats would be there trying to help me even more so than they were. This is actually a whole lot faster than that trying to cut a spiral that I tried doing the other day. At least through this, I'm cutting through 2 layers of fabric instead of just cutting through one. Yeah, I had the brilliant idea that, oh, I'm going to cut a spiral, just have to start on an angle and keep it, try to keep the strips even. I had a lot of thick and thin going on with that one. Okay, 2 more strips to cut. My hand's getting tired. One more. Gotta shake out the wrist. All right, so we've cut our vertical strips and it looks like this, but it's still connected. So the next step, my mouse where it's supposed to be, is open up these strips, laying one of the side seams open in front of you as pictured. Okay, so we're going to open up our strips. We have that 2 inches that we left at the top. Open like that. And then what we're going to do is cut some diagonal diagonal cuts. So it'll go from here to the outside of that strip, and then this one will go from here to there. And we'll just continue going down. So from inside of the one to the outside of the other. And then we'll go from that one to that one. We'll cut diagonal strips. Once you get the first one started, it's easier. few more to go. Oh, this was so much easier than what I did the other day. Okay. And then last one, go from here to the outside of that strip. And presto, you have one great big long strip of material. Cool! That is so awesome. That worked. Okay, so once you have your strip of material cut, we're going to be pulling the material till it forms our string or our yarn. So it goes from being a big flat piece of material to something that'll be more like yarn. And just continue pulling. You don't need to pull too hard because depending on how thick the material is, you could tear your yarn, which is okay. You just have to make a join when you're using it. Ouch. And watch out for, it's not really rug burn, but you know, pulling your fingers along the material there, you could get a material burn, I guess. Yarn burn. If you have kids at home, maybe they can help you pull. They can hold the one end and you can pull the other end. And Flurry's back. She says, "You got string! I want to play with the string!" Now if the t-shirt has design printed on it like that with the sort of like that plasticky paint, I'm not sure how well that will work. If it's worn, I know it will probably pull pretty well. I'm almost to the end. You gonna help me pull it, Flurry? You can pull it. She just wants to play with it. All right, I'm at the end. Now I'm just going to roll it up into a ball. Just roll it that way, pull it off, hold it at a 90-degree angle, and start rolling this way. Can I have it, Flurry? Let go. Let go. Come on, let go. Yeah, I know. You want to play with it. Come on, let go. All right. And then just take it off, a 90-degree angle again. And just keep doing that until a ball starts to form. And you can I got it all wrapped around me. Go. Okay. And got my ball of t-shirt yarn. And that was, I think that was one of my t-shirts. So it was a large or an extra large, I can't remember. So you get that much out of one of mine. Probably get a whole lot more out of one of my husband's. And I'm just going to keep making t-shirt yarn, and then when I have enough, I'm going to use it to make all sorts of things. Can make placemats, make throw rugs, use it to do some weaving. But we'll look into that next week, and in the meantime, we'll make some more t-shirt yarn. So go clean out your closets, clean out your drawers, see if you have any spare t-shirts laying around that you need to get rid of, and make yourself some t-shirt yarn. Now if you have any that have a really cool design on the front, save those, because there's another project that I want to do with t-shirts, and I think something with a cool design on it would make it really, really neat. So have fun upcycling. See ya.